My sister cut me from her wedding, so I went on vacation. Then everything fell apart without me. I always figured if my sister ever got married, I'd be somewhere between the guy giving a toast and the one unclogging a toilet at the venue. That's just the kind of brother I've always been. Reliable, present, not flashy, not dramatic, just there. So when Kelly got engaged last fall, I honestly felt kind of proud. She called me crying after he proposed because the ring wasn't exactly what she'd hoped for, and I spent an hour on the phone, talking her down. When she told me the venue was going to be a little outside budget, I offered to help pay. Not that she asked. She never asks. She just lets people assume they're supposed to jump in. And I usually do. That's the role I've played in our family since forever. The calm one. The fixer. The guy who bails people out without making them feel bad about needing it. So yeah, I figured I'd be at the wedding. That felt like the bare minimum. Then one Thursday afternoon, I get this text from her. No context, no lead up. Just, hey, just wanted to let you know the guest list is finalized and we had to make some tough cuts. Hope you understand. Love you. I stared at the screen for a full minute, convinced I'd misread it. Tough cuts? I'm her brother. I called our mom right away, and she answered like she'd been waiting for it. Oh, honey, she sighed, using that exact tone she always uses when she's about to say something that's gonna piss me off. Please don't make this a big deal, it's just a wedding. I said, Mom, I'm not her coworker from Pilates, I'm her brother. How do you cut your brother? She did this soft TSK sound that drives me nuts and said, they wanted to keep it small, so I pulled up Instagram while we were still on the phone. Kelly had posted a teaser of her seating chart. I counted names. Over 140. Small, huh? She invited 150 people, I said. Silence. Then, well, you know how weddings are. I'm sure it wasn't personal. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a miscommunication or some spreadsheet error. She had every chance to clarify, to explain, to apologize. She didn't. They just decided I wouldn't be there. And our mom's response wasn't shock. It was damage control. Like she knew, and she hoped I wouldn't make noise about it. I didn't yell, I didn't guilt trip, I just hung up. Walked out onto my little apartment balcony, stared at the trees for a while, and realized I was done. Not in a big angry slam the door way, more like a quiet snap. You know that feeling when you've been holding something heavy for too long and your arms just give out? That. If I wasn't good enough to be there, fine, I wouldn't be. But I also wasn't going to sit around acting like nothing happened. I opened my laptop, found a flight to Cancun, booked it. All-inclusive resort, ocean view, 5-star reviews. I even upgraded to the suite. That same night, I posted a photo of my boarding pass with the caption, guess I didn't make the guest list, but I've got somewhere better to be. Within minutes, my cousin Erica commented, you're kidding, right? Another cousin DM'd me a laughing emoji. I turned off my phone and made myself a drink. I wasn't mad. I was just done. For once in my life, I was choosing peace over politeness. I wasn't going to beg for a seat at a table I clearly wasn't welcome at. I was going to find a better table with margaritas. And no one asking me to carry emotional baggage that doesn't belong to me. The morning of the wedding, I was 30,000 feet in the air, stretched out in seat 2A with a glass of champagne in one hand and noise-canceling headphones playing old soul music. Because yeah, I was going full dramatic main character mode, and I didn't care. I posted a quick shot of my legs up in the tray table with a drink and captioned it, wishing the happy couple a stress-free day from somewhere peaceful, and then switched off notifications. A couple people reacted immediately. Cousin Jake replied with legend. Erica just sent the crying laughing emoji, and then silence, which is exactly what I wanted. I landed in Cancun to 80-degree sunshine and a breeze that smelled like lime and ocean. The hotel had a guy waiting with my name on a card and a cold towel like I was some kind of retired rock star. The whole thing felt surreal. I checked into a suite with floor-to-ceiling windows and a balcony that overlooked the water so perfectly it almost looked fake. That first night I had steak, wine, and 0 calls from family. It was the best dinner I'd had in a year. The next day I got up late, ordered room service, fluffy pancakes, fresh fruit, coffee that actually tasted like coffee, and I just sat there on the balcony watching the waves. No stress, no guilt, no fake small talk. I didn't open any texts until mid-afternoon. That's when I saw the first one from Mom. Are you seriously missing your sister's wedding over this? Then another one. Don't be petty, this isn't like you. I rolled my eyes and took a photo of the beach, captioned it, recharging, and sent it right back to her, then muted the thread. By evening I was by the pool, with a drink in hand, and a warm buzz that had nothing to do with alcohol. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like someone's backup plan. I felt like my own person. Around sunset, my phone buzzed again, this time from Jake. All it said was, bro, something just happened. Call me ASAP. I almost didn't. Figured it was just more wedding nonsense or some guilt campaign trying to drag me back into the group chat of shame. But curiosity got me. I opened the message and saw a second one from Erica. You picked the perfect time to disappear. I texted Jake. What happened? He replied within seconds. Brandon walked out. At the reception, like full meltdown, gone. I read it twice, then a third time. I didn't even know what emotion to have. Shock? Satisfaction? Vindication? All I could think was, wow, I really dodged a damn bullet. More messages came in after that. Apparently, Kelly and Brandon got into it behind the scenes. Something about her yelling at one of his cousins, then fighting with his mom. It escalated. Brandon said something about not wanting to live like this and just left. Walked out the side door, got into a car, and disappeared. The DJ kept playing music for a bit until someone realized the groom was no longer on the premises. Then people started arguing. Mom and Aunt Lisa got into it about who was to blame, Grandma cried, and someone spilled wine on the bride's dress. It was full wedding apocalypse mode. I sat there on my lounger, half laughing, half stunned, just taking it all in. Then came the message from Kelly. Please pick up, I need you. Of course, suddenly I mattered again. Suddenly the brother they had to cut from the guest list was the one she was calling first when it all came crashing down. I didn't reply right away. I just leaned back, took a sip of my drink and thought, this is why I left. Because I'm not a button you press when things break. I'm not the emotional janitor. I opened her message again, typed out one line and hit send. Sorry, I'm a little busy enjoying my overreaction. Then I blocked her number. And my mom's. And Jake's too, just in case he tried to play peacekeeper. I turned off my phone, flagged down the bartender for another drink, and toasted to the best decision I'd made in years. They wanted a wedding without me. Now they had the aftermath without me too. And I was just getting started. I woke up the next morning to the sound of the waves and not much else. My room smelled like salt and fresh linen, and for a second, I forgot the mess I'd walked away from. Then I turned my phone back on, and all that peaceful silence exploded into 27 missed calls, 14 voicemails, and a flood of texts from numbers I didn't recognize. Apparently, word got out fast that I blocked Mom and Kelly because now the rest of the family was trying to patch things up or drag me back in, depending on which side they were on. First voicemail was Mom. I don't know what you think you're doing, but this isn't the time for one of your tantrums. Your sister is devastated. I deleted it before she even finished. Next one was Kelly, actually crying. I need you. I don't know what to do. You're my brother. Please. Click. Gone. Then came one that made me actually laugh. Jake, whispering like he was hiding in a supply closet. Dude, Mom and Aunt Lisa are planning to show up at your apartment when you get back. Just a heads up. Also, Grandma said the wedding was cursed because they didn't invite you. I'm dead. That one I saved. I stepped out onto the balcony with my coffee, let the breeze hit my face, and honestly, I just felt light. Like all that pressure they put on me for years wasn't my problem anymore. For once, I wasn't the backup plan, the fixer, the one who shows up last minute and makes everyone feel okay again. They were feeling what I'd felt when they cut me out. Unwanted, unimportant, expendable. And yeah, I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel just a little poetic. Around noon, I got a message from my cousin Melissa. She's one of the few people in the family who actually gets it. Her text said, okay, I know you're mad and you totally deserve to be, but you need to hear what happened after the wedding. Call me. You're gonna love this. I stared at the screen for a minute. I wasn't sure I wanted to hear more chaos, but something about the way she worded it made me curious. So I called. She picked up on the first ring. Totally breathless. Are you sitting down? I looked around at the infinity pool, the palm trees, the quiet breeze, and said, yeah, I think I'm in a good headspace. She laughed, then jumped right in. Apparently after Brandon bailed and people started leaving early, Kelly went full meltdown mode. Not crying. I'm talking yelling, throwing stuff, screaming at the wedding planner and the bridal party. Mom tried to calm her down, but made it worse by blaming her for how she treated Brandon. Aunt Lisa tried to defend Kelly. They got into a screaming match. Then Grandma stepped in, and this is where I almost dropped my drink. Grandma looked Kelly dead in the face in front of like 30 people and said, this is what happens when you cut out the people who always loved you. You didn't want your brother at your wedding, and now you're alone in a white dress with no husband and no plan. I legit choked on my mimosa when Melissa said that. She was cackling on the other end, telling me that after that, Kelly locked herself in the bridal suite, refused to come out, and Mom spent the next hour trying to get Brandon's mom on the phone while everyone else just left. Cake untouched, DJ still playing to an empty dance floor. Total collapse. I leaned back in my lounge chair, looked out at the water and said, you know what the best part is? I don't care. Melissa laughed and said, honestly, I don't blame you. They all thought you'd eventually come crawling back to save the day like you always do. But you didn't. You actually left. You chose you. I didn't say anything, just smiled. Because yeah, I had. And for once, I didn't feel guilty about it. The next day, I didn't even look at my phone until after breakfast. I had fluffy pancakes, a fresh mango smoothie, and a seat right on the beach, where the only sound was the wind hitting the palms and the ocean rolling in slow and steady like it was on vacation too. I knew they'd keep trying to reach me, and I was right. Over 30 missed calls now, some from numbers I didn't even recognize. A few random voicemails had slipped through, the usual mix of guilt and desperation. "We're family, we fix things," Mom said. "You've made your point, now please come back and help us move forward." Kelly's message was the one I actually played all the way through. She said she was sorry. She said she messed up. She said she just wanted her day to go perfectly and panicked about too many people being involved, too many opinions. She said I was always the one she counted on and that she missed me. For a second, I almost felt something. Not anger, just that old familiar ache of being the person everyone relies on but no one listens to until the building's already on fire. Then I remembered how easy it was for them to cut me out in the first place. How I didn't even make the second tier of consideration. How it was never about space. It was about what was convenient for them. I thought maybe I'd respond. Maybe I'd say I hear you, or we'll talk when I'm back, but I didn't. Instead, I posted a photo from the hammock, the view framed perfectly between two palms, the ocean glowing like a screensaver. Caption, peace performance. It blew up. People from high school I hadn't talked to in years were commenting. A guy the first barely knew from work DM'd me saying, "This is inspiring, not gonna lie." Even Erica texted me just, "Bro, icon." I spent the afternoon on a boat cruise, met a couple from Colorado who'd left their kids with grandparents for the first time in 5 years. We talked about travel and how weirdly easy it is to lose yourself when you're constantly keeping other people from falling apart. When I got back to the hotel, I had a new message from Melissa. "Just a heads up, Mom is trying to plan a family meeting for when you return. She says we need to restore balance." I almost laughed out loud. Restore balance? Like this was a Marvel movie and I was the time stone. I texted her back, "Yeah, tell her not to wait up. I'm extending my trip." Melissa responded, "Wait, seriously?" And I said, "They wanted me out. I'm giving them exactly what they asked for. Full peace, no drama, no Alex to lean on." She replied, "Honestly, kind of iconic. Let me know when you get back, or don't, LOL." That night I ordered room service again, this time steak and wine. I sat on the balcony under the stars and realized how long it had been since I did anything just because I wanted to. Not out of obligation, or guilt, or the need to keep someone else from crying. Just me. My choice. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't holding on to anything. I just didn't want to go back to being that guy. The fixer. The emotional crutch. The sibling you don't invite, but still expect to clean up your mess. They could figure it out without me. I posted one last photo before bed. Just the empty beach at sunset. No caption, no tag. Just the silence. Then I turned off my phone, closed my eyes, and let go of all of it. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like I owed anyone anything. And it felt like freedom.